Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am in North Carolina right now. It's the end of November and you know what's coming. I am doing my budget video. You guys love these videos and honestly I really like them because it keeps me accountable and I'm always thinking of ways to differentiate these videos because I don't want every budget video to be the exact same, just like, okay, here's my budget and that's it. I want to provide value, I want to provide insight, and I also want to hold you accountable in a way. Hopefully this encourages any of you to begin budgeting and to realize that budgeting is incredibly important. So with that being said, I am going to sit down and do my budget. I also wanted to do a few predictions, so kind of saying what I think that this month is going to look like compared to last month and also seeing if my predictions from last month came true. I predict that I'm going to be spending $600 on restaurants. I remember last video I said that I only wanted to spend $500 on restaurants, but as this month went on, I knew I was not hitting that. I had a friend visit me, I had my cousin visit me, I was taking people out to dinner. I knew that I wasn't gonna hit that, so my goal is $600. I also think that I spent less money on clothing this month than last month. Last month I spent $368 on clothing, which is honestly just a lot, and I think that I spent way less this month. And I also believe that I spent less money on parking this month, but I do think I spent more money on Uber just because I did have a friend visiting and we did Uber places. I also think that I spent way less money on travel this month because I used my points rather than actually spending cash. But I do think my shopping budget in general, like my miscellaneous shopping, did go up because I had to buy a new camera, which cost me $800. I left my camera on the plane, unfortunately, so I had to buy a whole new camera. And so I know that that's kind of like a big drop in the bucket, so I definitely think I spent more on shopping this month. Overall, I think I spent less this month than last month. If I didn't, I'm concerned. Those are my predictions. We'll see if they come true. But before I go off and do my budget, I did want to thank today's sponsor, which is Stash. Investing can be super important. I pride myself on being a good saver, but I didn't really know the importance of investing, especially when I was younger. What I didn't realize is that you are potentially losing money to inflation if you just keep cash on hand. I always knew that I needed to invest, but I didn't necessarily know how to invest. Stash is an amazing resource that can help you get started with investing. I downloaded Stash a few years ago when I first moved to New York City. I really started my financial journey then, and if you've been following me for some time, you know that's kind of when it all began. And honestly, I'm really proud of how far I've come. Stash helped me get started at the time, and it is perfect for anyone who wants to learn more about investing. It is such a simple app, and you can choose from over 3,000 stocks, and you get some advice along the way. You can even have the option to set up a smart portfolio, and Stash will invest for you. Stash costs as little as $1 a month, and it has 3 simple plans. I highly recommend it if you are someone who feels intimidated by investing. It definitely helped me when I was starting out, and it made investing a little bit more achievable. Stash also has a special offer for my viewers. You sign up with the link in my description, add $1 or more to your personal portfolio. Stash will give you a bonus of $50 to start. Definitely check out the link in my description, and thank you so much, Stash, for sponsoring today's video. All right, guys, I'm about to go and make my budget, see if my predictions come true, and then come here and let you know how I did. All right, guys, I just did my monthly budget, and I'm about to go through the entire thing with you. Okay, so we're gonna start with my income. As you know, I do not share all of the numbers on here. I personally don't feel comfortable sharing numbers, but I do like dealing with percentages and trends and just let you know what I've learned. This month, very happy, my income went up by 97%. Usually it is not this high of a jump, but my income literally doubled from last month to this month. So even though my income went up this month, I still hope that my spending went down. I talked about it last video, but I don't want to give into lifestyle creep. I definitely have already. I'm gonna admit it. I have given in already, but I don't want to continue giving in. So I'm really trying to bring my expenses down while still obviously living a lifestyle that I enjoy, but bringing my expenses down along the way. So let's see how everything else went this month. Some standard bills that I always have is, for example, like my power, my electricity, my Wi-Fi, all of those are standard every single month, and I've talked about them in previous videos, and then also things like my car payment. So all of those I feel like I've talked about a million times and I sound like a broken record. So those are all standard. So now let's get into the, not so standard costs, the things that I probably could and should be saving on. I have a whole category here for food food and I break it down. I break it down: groceries, restaurants, coffee, alcohol, because, you know, I can't just have one just for food. It's too broad. I gotta know what food I'm spending on. My grocery bill this month actually went up by 25%. I spent $280 on groceries this month, which is actually crazy because this month I had Friendsgiving and I spent $200 on Friendsgiving alone. So the rest of the month I just spent $80 on groceries, and I feel like that's wrong, but I guess not. I don't know. I guess I just spent $80 on groceries. I was out of town a lot, and usually when I'm out of town I obviously don't buy groceries, but then I would expect my restaurant bill to be higher, but my restaurant bill wasn't actually higher this month. It was lower by 16%, and I spent $671 at restaurants this month, which, again, I wanted it to be 600. I actually wanted it to be 500, but I predicted 600. The reason for this is because I have a habit of buying people food and like not expecting anyone to pay me back, which is a good thing, but it can also definitely lead to an increase in restaurant costs. Like if I'm with my friends sometimes, or friends are visiting, or my cousin was visiting, I like to treat my friends, and I'm like, no, it's on me, guys, it's on me. I don't do that all the time, but I definitely know I did it this month. I spent $67 on coffee this month, which was less than last month by 30%. And then I spent $81 on alcohol this month, and it's kind of the same. I like buying my friends drinks, and so not all of that was mine, but yeah, I never ask people to pay me back for drinks. I'm just like, whatever, it's on me, you get the next one. So yeah, I spent $1,100 on food this month, which is kind of insane. I definitely want to bring that down to like 800. I'd like my whole food budget to be $800. Let me know how much money you guys spend on food, whether it's restaurants, alcohol, coffee, groceries, like whatever it is, just comment it down below. As for personal care stuff, I have a whole category for this where I break down eyebrows, facial, manicure, pedicure, workout, health insurance, Bambino, health and wellness, all of that stuff. I actually spent 66% less this month than I did last month, which is great. Get a manicure and pedicure, so that was $65 total. The place I go to in Miami is actually really affordable. Like this is only $35 to do. I feel like that's pretty good. It's like a full manicure. These last me a month, 35 bucks. I recently joined a gym and it's incredibly expensive, but I really like it, and it cost me $190 a month. But I do go every day of the week that I'm in Miami. But as you know, last month I did do a lot of lab work. So I got my vitamins tested, my hormones tested, all of that tested. And so I spent a lot of money on lab work last month, whereas this month I didn't have that. So that is why I assume that the price went down significantly. Okay, so one of my predictions was parking. I said that I was gonna spend less on parking and more on Uber. Let me see if that's right. I did spend less on parking this month. I spent so much less on parking this month. I spent 80% less on parking this month. I spent $50 last month, and this month I spent $10. Definitely means my Uber went up. Yes. I'd rather spend more on parking. My Uber did go up. I spent $206 on Uber this month, and compared to last month where I only spent $132 on Uber. I did go out more this month. I had a friend come over, so we kind of just like bounced around, and then we had to Uber back to my place and Uber to the bar, and so that just cost money. Miami Ubers are always so expensive. Anyways, $206 on Ubers, and everything else was a lot lower. Travel, I also predicted that I would spend way less because last month I spent $547 on travel, just buying plane tickets, places, and this month I only spent $33 on travel because I used my points. And I'm hoping that in December, this upcoming month, I don't spend money on travel either. All right, now for shopping. You guys know I had to spend $800 on my camera, which was just such a bummer. I really hated it. I also shattered my phone completely at the Heat game. And so I had to buy a new phone, but thankfully I have Apple Care. PSA for everyone, get Apple Care. You need it. It would have cost me hundreds of dollars to replace my phone, but because I had Apple Care, I only spent $60 and I got a brand new phone literally the next morning. It was great. So get Apple Care. You never know when you're gonna need it. As for clothing, I predicted I would spend less money on clothing this month, and I did. I spent $150 on clothing this month, and I spent $368 last month on clothing. I also did start buying some Christmas gifts, $178 on a gift this month. And so next month I am going to have a budget for holiday gifts. Anyways, overall this month I spent 20% less than last month, which I consider a success, and I'm hoping to spend even less in December than this month. And I want to say thank you guys so much for actually enjoying these videos. I always want to make a disclaimer that I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to say that this is exactly how you should live or how you should spend. It's really just a way for me to see what I'm spending, and it's also to encourage you guys, and you guys seem to like them. Whether you're curious or it holds you accountable, whatever it is, I enjoy making these for you, so I'm going to continue to do them. I never want it to be like, oh, this is how you need to spend your money, or make anyone feel guilty if they don't have the means to spend the money that I'm spending, if that makes sense. So I also always want to acknowledge that I realize I am so incredibly fortunate that I make the amount of money that I do, that I have the job that I have, that I, you know, am able to afford the lifestyle that I afford. Like, that's not lost on me, and I know that a lot of people might not be in that same circumstance. So I always want to throw that out there because money talks are so incredibly uncomfortable, but I'm trying to make it less taboo, more open, more honest, and actually have that conversation with you. If you guys want to see maybe a whole like holiday budget video, like gifts I buy for people, how much I spent on everyone, then definitely let me know. I think it'd be a cool twist on what I got people for Christmas, but instead adding like that financial aspect where it's like, this is how much I spent holiday shopping. Because you know me, I'm gonna organize everything. I'm gonna make an Excel spreadsheet and make sure I'm keeping a line with my budget for holiday shopping, and like making sure I know exactly how much I'm spending on everyone, and like what I got them, like when it's shipping, all of that. Like everyone I have to buy gifts for, because I forget, so I need to stay organized. So you know I'm gonna do that. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you again, Stash, for sponsoring today's video, and I will see you next month on my next budget video. Bye, guys.